Born on September 20th, 1991 in Barcelona, Spain, Marcos spent his early childhood with his parents and siblings in the United States before returning to Barcelona with his family in 1998. Like many young people, his journey of faith was not always straightforward. During his early teenage years, he lost some interest in attending Sunday Mass. However, this period of rebellion did not last long, and God was already preparing his heart for something greater. Marcos first studied at Montserrat School and later at Abad Oliba Loreto. It was there that he met teachers and friends connected to communion and liberation. This encounter would become a turning point in his life. Through these friendships, he discovered a way of living Christianity that united faith, friendship, study, and a deep appreciation for life. What he found there remained with him for many years and helped shape the man he would become. Not long before entering the seminary, his spiritual director asked him to write about his life and how the Lord had gradually transformed him. Marcos responded by creating a simple 65-page publication that revealed his sincere and humble heart. Throughout those pages, he made it clear that the focus was never on himself, but on the work Christ had accomplished in him. Many who later read the text saw it as a kind of spiritual testament. Lord, you have given me everything. Dispose of me as you wish, because I have discovered that with you, everything is fulfilled, that when I entrust something to you, you bring it to completion. One of the most striking things about Marcos was his honesty. He did not hide his weaknesses, mistakes, or struggles. He openly admitted that during his adolescence, he treated girls poorly, and this contributed to a period when his faith would become lukewarm. He also spoke honestly about the doubts he faced while discerning his vocation. His journey was not easy, especially because he had a girlfriend whom he deeply cared about. Yet she accompanied him generously throughout his discernment process and helped him seek God's will. As time passed, Marcos began attending weekly catechism classes with a communion and liberation group. Little by little, his family started noticing a remarkable change in him. His relationship with Christ became more real, and that transformation could be seen in the way he lived each day. A particularly important moment came in 2011 when Marcos traveled to Calcutta, India, with friends and his uncle, Father Yago Gallo, where they worked alongside the missionaries of charity, serving some of the poorest people in the world. During that trip, Marcos made a statement that revealed the deep desire growing in his heart. My knowledge of Christ has to be concrete as that of John and Andrew. Those words were not simply an idea. They reflected a young man who wanted a personal and living relationship with Jesus. Upon returning home, he participated in World Youth Day in Madrid. It was during this period that he began seriously discerning whether God was calling him to the priesthood. As the years went by, his faith continued to deepen. Those around him could see a growing maturity and peace within him. One priest encouraged him to become a spiritual support and guide for his friends and family, almost like a fatherly presence among them. Marcos embraced the mission wholeheartedly, always seeking ways to bring others closer to Christ. Shortly before entering the seminary, he gave a testimony that revealed how dramatically his priorities had changed. This experience for me today makes me 1,000 times more satisfying than the conquest of women. His love for Christ had become the center of his life. The world offered many attractions, but he had discovered something far greater. Before his death, his spiritual director again encouraged him to write about his life. The resulting work, My Story, would later inspire many people to dedicate themselves more completely to the Lord and to trust His plan. Being a saint does not consist in being perfect, but in having a heart passionate about Christ. Then came the day he had long prepared for. On February 11th, 2015, the feast of Our Lady of Lourdes, Marcos entered the Conciliar Seminary of Barcelona. It was a joyful moment and the beginning of what many believed would be a fruitful journey toward the priesthood. A few days later, he met with friends. One of them asked how he was experiencing seminary life. His response showed complete certainty that God was asking everything from him and that he was ready to give everything in return. But only 10 days after entering the seminary, tragedy struck. On February the 21st, 2015, Marcos died in a motorcycle accident. His death was sudden and heartbreaking, yet the deep sorrow felt by so many people was not due only to the tragic circumstances. Those who knew Marcos had already recognized something extraordinary in him. They had witnessed a young man whose life was marked by authenticity, generosity, joy, and an unmistakable love for Christ. More than 2,000 people attended his funeral in the seminary's Martyrs Chapel. During the homily, his uncle reflected on something many people had experienced firsthand. He said it was practically impossible to spend more than half an hour with Marcos without the conversation eventually turning towards Jesus. Although his life on earth was brief, it was filled with purpose. Marcos Pou reminds us that holiness is not measured by the number of years we live, but by how completely we give ourselves to God. His story continues to challenge hearts, inspire vocations, and encourage countless souls to ask the most important question of all: what is truly worth giving our lives for? Marcos Pou, pray for us.